Hi, I'm here to tell you my point of view of the first Flight 666 here at the Rock. My point of view was from the point of view of a character rather than being in the audience. And the way I came into being that character is kind of an interesting story. I don't have drama background or anything like that, but when they announced that they would be having tryouts, I told my husband that I just wanted to go out and try and see what happened, just to have fun. So that's what I did. And we didn't try out for a particular part or anything like that. Later, they told me that I had a part, but they didn't tell me what it was. It wasn't until we met for the very first time that I found out what my part would be. When we sat in the auditorium, they first passed out the script, and on the front of the script, it had a list of characters and a brief description. I looked down through there, and there was a lady named Eleanor, and the description was proud grandmother. Well, I looked all around me, and I was the oldest person there, so I figured, that's me. So, sure enough, when they announced the parts, my part was that of Eleanor. So I turned back over into the script, and when I saw what Eleanor was going to be talking about, I just nearly fell off my chair. The topic was abortion. Immediately I thought, can I really do this? Maybe I need to trade parts with someone. But then another part of me said, no, maybe God has a reason for this. So I said, okay, that's the part I will be. I took my partner in my scene away from everyone after the meeting was over, and I said, have you ever met anyone who has had an abortion? And she said, no. And I said, well, now you have. A lot of what was in that scene was my story. I had an abortion. So how did Flight 666 help me? It helped me in that my character got to offer God's love and forgiveness to another character who also had had an abortion. And every time that I got to say those lines and say, God forgives you, and he wants you to forgive yourself, well, every time a little piece of my own heart was healed. And yet, the only people who knew my deep, dark secret were the lady I was working with, my husband, and of course the pastor. Nobody else knew until the day after our last performance. It was during our summer conference, and it was during a Kevin Leal meeting, and Pastor called me up in front of everyone and said, tell us about your scene. Well, I gave a brief synopsis of it, and then he said, now Marlene, tell us about your scene. So I did, and for the first time, I gave my story in public. I thought I would never be able to do such a thing. I had such guilt, such shame on me for decades that I was sure that there was no relief from it, that I would never be free. But I'm here to tell you that there is freedom, there is forgiveness. God has forgiven me. And because he has, and because he brought me to Flight 666, I have been able to forgive myself. Forgiving myself doesn't mean that I approve of what I did. But forgiving myself means that I finally have accepted God's forgiveness. So that's how Flight 666 affected me.